Welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Diorio. Tonight, I am joined by the beanied one, Gerard, wide-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Hello! Greetings and salutations! All the gamers and nerds! Hello!
Oh,
That's right.
So really quick, I have a question since you've moved to Arizona.
Yes.
How much is your AC cranked in order for you to be still comfortable in a beanie in Arizona?
And folks, that's a babyface Theo Walski.
Probably because it hasn't
in the 70s in your house right now, where it's maybe a little higher outside.
High 60s.
Oh,
my
okay.
fan is going off all the time, and we periodically put on the AC. But that's because right now it's not that bad. But come June, end of June, I have to figure out something else. I will not be able to wear beanies. That's just a given. But I have like I've said, I think I said in another podcast, I have an idea.
Okay.
That I'm going to start doing
to that.
for summer.
At least you can bring back the beanie with the soup cozy that we talked about. So at least it's still incorporated.
That thing is that's a good idea. That was a really good idea. And in fact, I feel like I kind of seen something like that made on Etsy.
No, we got a copyright or
we do. We got to make ours. Different colors. We can have them game themed.
Right.
IGN. Somehow say they're double lined.
Vacuum sealed.
Yeah, there you go.
See, yeah, absolutely.
So how's everyone? And honestly, and also, guys, we are sad to disappoint Newman that the Lion's Mane and the couch are not with us tonight. He's unfortunate, not able to make it with us.
The couch is missed.
Yeah.
And sorry, but no, my bed is not available.
And Newman is already starting off nice and early in the show,
as he should.
Saying you need a beanie replacement because we need something to cover up that hair, which we know you don't really get cut all that much.
No,
I mean, at least he didn't say to cover up the hair on the face here. Just kind of
never. I'm proud of my beard. I'm very proud of my beard.
As you should.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But still,
yeah. So how's everyone's week been?
Good toned,
bro. I can't wait for this week to be done. This week needs to be done.
It's been
down the minutes.
It's been an interesting week training for the new job. I'm getting there, feeling more comfortable, getting some actual training. So it's.
Oh, are you in the office now for your training, or are you still remote?
Not yet. I'm still doing remote until I was told possibly around June 1st I'll be heading to the office.
Oh,
so
okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. Not doing too bad, enjoying it, learning a lot, getting a lot of information. So it's been exhausting a little bit, but not bad.
How about you, Matt? How's your week?
It's been that kind of a week. Just been tedious, and I hate to say it, it is what it is. It's a week job. I can't complain about the job and whatnot. At least I have one right now.
Correct.
But it's just a lot of tedious stuff this week, going over a lot of analytics and whatnot, and being asked to do more than what I'm supposed to be doing. That's
because that never happens to anybody.
Never happens. Never in our job. But
you can do more for the same amount of money.
Right. Yeah. So,
and also a special shout out to one of our tester alumni. I believe it was Christy Pride's birthday.
Woo!
I think it was yesterday.
Day,
we sent out a happy birthday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Christy.
Yeah. But let's get to it because there's a lot to talk about tonight. So everybody knows kind of what's been going on over in the Middle East with Israel and Palestine. Thankfully, a ceasefire was declared. It starts at 2 a.m. Friday, their time. So here's the thing is we know from the past conflicts that they've had, those ceasefires don't hold very long. So I hope this one does hold long. But one of our primary topics tonight does deal with kind of what's going on over there. So about a week ago, the IGN staff put up an article on IGN giving links to charities that you could support for displaced Palestinians. You know, the families, the kids, you know, they were actually really worthwhile charities and stuff to do it with. So in the middle of the night, though, IGN management, so this is not the editors, the editor-in-chiefs, any of that stuff. It is the actual management, upper management, decided to pull said article in the middle of the night, gave everybody kind of like an email when they were all sleeping going, hey, guess what? This is what we're doing. And here's the statement that they gave. Okay. Across IGN, our hearts are heavy as we follow the events in Israel, Palestine, and across the region. Our first thought is always for the broader IGN community, our employees, readers, and partners, and our hopes for their safety and well-being. Real quick, just a disclaimer, there is an Israeli IGN office. Okay. So we'll just preface that right there to start this. Okay. We have a track record of supporting humanitarian efforts and charities across the globe. In the instance of our recent post regarding how to help civilians in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, our philanthropic instincts to help those in need was not in line with our intent of trying to show support for all people impacted by tragic events. By highlighting only one portion, only one population, the post mistakenly left the impression that we were politically aligned with one side. That was not our intention, and we sincerely regret the error. We do intend to continue to use our platforms and resources to aid those civilian lives impacted across the entire area. As part of this effort, we made a donation of $25,000. That's a drop in the bucket for them, to Save the Children, an organization that supports that works to support children everywhere and provides emergency aid in natural disasters, war, and other conflicts. Thank you for your support and for always engaging with us. Our community is a huge part of what makes IGN special. We'll continue to follow global events and look for ways to lead our support in productive, helpful ways. All right. So given that we know that they have an office over there, I'm not sure where in Israel it is. I'm guessing probably Tel Aviv, maybe, which is their major hub for media and stuff like that. But that's a pretty much kind of a slap in the face of their editorial staff to basically say, well, it wasn't in line with what our feelings are. So we're just going to do 25 grand to Save the Children, which is a global charity, mind you. It wasn't being directed directly to the conflict that's going on.
Yeah, that's pretty small for what they're worth, as well as it being global and kind of glancing over what's going on in Israel.
And then, so the employees kind of got wind of it, and they made an open letter.
Employees or the Israel employees?
Oh, this is kind of like, I think more so the U.S. I think it's more the U.S.
like nationwide. I think, yeah.
But this letter that they wrote was an open letter to leadership, IGN, Ziff Davis, and J2 Global. So J2 Global owns IGN.
Before you read it, I just want to be, because I know Matt will understand this at the very least. I'm just amazed that upper management actually knew how to take down a page or an article on their website.
Right?
We all know upper management usually doesn't know the tricks in order to do anything. Okay. I don't know who they enlisted to maybe do it for them.
You might actually still be right. They just upper management took it down. They probably told someone, who's on this, get it down now.
Yep.
I'm sure it trickled down. I'm sure.
So imagine so. But yeah. I'm just saying.
So I want to preface,
but they did say that.
So I want to preface this letter, the fact that it was signed by some of the more well-known IGN staff.
Okay.
As well as just behind the scenes guys that do cameras, editing work. Like, it wasn't just the on-screen personalities, those that write articles. Probably, for anybody that really knows IGN, Brian Altano, who's, one of the big editors over there and does a lot of their podcasting and stuff. He signed among others. So the letter goes on and starts, and it's very pointed. To the management of J2 Global and Ziff Davis and the corporate leadership of IGN. We, the undersigned employees of IGN. Now, I want to also kind of say is for anybody that's kind of watching along with the podcast, right? These guys that signed this letter, and you can go find it on, Brian Altano's post, some of the guys from IGN, right? Everybody that reposted it. There are people who did not sign this letter, but you have to keep in mind that probably some of them are more thinking about, hey, if there's backlash, how do I cover my family? How do I support my family? So I can get why you don't sign it, but then I get exactly why you do sign it. So
you can still be a silent supporter.
Exactly. But we, the undersigned employees of IGN, are appalled by the recent management decisions to subvert our editorial autonomy and remove our post directing aid to the Palestinian civilians currently suffering a humanitarian crisis in Gaza, the West Bank, and Jerusalem. In our original post, we offered our readers ways to support charities that helped injured and sick children, supply educational resources and food assistance to victims, and provide emergency medical relief for those wounded or displaced by the conflict. We feel these efforts should not be controversial. All humans deserve access to these basic rights, and it is important for those with means to offer aid in times of humanitarian crisis. Our original post was shared by thousands of people, and because of IGN's size and reach, we were able to serve as a leader for much of the rest of the industry to help support those whose lives are torn apart by this conflict. We were proud to be part of a team at a site that was able and willing to offer this level of visibility to such critical humanitarian support efforts. This decision to take down the post was made a day and a half after it was published. The takedown took place in the early hours of the morning on a weekend with no communication to its initial authors, the general IGN staff, or to the public as to why it happened. IGN's editorial team has guidelines about updating content deemed needful of changes, something that we've done multiple times in the past. But wholesale removal of pieces without posting an explanatory statement is expressly against our usual policy. Finally, more than 12 hours after the issue was first flagged to the broader team in our internal Slack, our staff received a late night email from IGN leadership, well after reasonable working hours for the IGN global team, with a statement that was published, which we just read. There was no indication in the initial email that it would also serve as our official statement on the matter. While we are glad to see a sizable donation being made to Save the Children, we feel the decision to remove the original article and social posts. So that's the other thing, is they deleted all the social media posts. As well as subsequent statement from management is not only actively harmful to IGN's public reputation and its employees, but also highly disrespectful to much of its content team and broader staff. The statement inaccurately ascribes the retraction to those across IGN rather than to the members of our upper management team who made the decision, giving a public impression that the decision was made by the editorial staff, despite this being a choice we did not make collectively, which many of us do not agree with. Following an IGN-wide meeting this morning, we have come to understand that this was a clear instance of corporate overreach and demonstrated blatant disregard for the most basic standards of journalistic integrity and editorial independence. The business interests of a publication's ownership and its editorial staff should stay separate at all times. Importantly, we feel the latest statement dangerously turns what was a matter of supporting innocent civilians facing a humanitarian crisis into a harmful case of both sides isms. Helping children and civilians harmed by the horrors of war should be uncontroversial no matter who the two sides are, and is in keeping with IGN's ongoing efforts to highlight causes that are important to our team, such as support for Black Lives Matter last year and our more recent celebration of AAPI Heritage Month and joining the call to end AAPI hate. The victims here deserve the same support. And for those that aren't familiar with AAPI, that was... that focuses around the Asian hate that's been going on and the attacks on the Asian communities that we've seen over the last couple of months. So we recognize the concerns expressed by upper management, but are nonetheless gravely disappointed by the lack of respect shown to our content team and broader staff in this matter, and expect our leaders to take responsibility for their decisions. We, the undersigned, are calling for an all-hands meeting that includes IGN upper management and anyone at J2 Global or Ziff Davis who had a hand in the decision. By the end of the week, in which we would like full transparency after the reasoning and process behind the post removal. We ask that the management body responsible for the decision accept that responsibility publicly, We ask that the management recognizes IGN's editorial authority and autonomy with regards to what it publishes, regardless of whether that work is news, reviews, features, guides, video content, or promotion of initiatives our staff feels are important, such as issue awareness or charitable support. While we want to make sure all voices on our team, IGN management included, feel able to weigh in on what we say as a site and how we say it, we're adamant that corporate leadership does not get the final word in editorial decisions. Finally, we ask that management work with our staff to republish the piece. We are open to doing this through a process that incorporates management feedback and concern about how its content is perceived, but we firmly believe that we must be allowed to advocate for humanitarian causes freely across all channels. We are a team of creators who love what we do and take pride in our work, which has previously enjoyed the support of and freedom of unnecessary interference from our parent companies. We would like that relationship to continue to be a positive one. It is our hope that management recognizes its errors this past weekend and is willing to work with us to ensure that IGN can continue to stand as a trusted publication, unconstrained by interference from corporate interests, and able to freely inform its audience about opportunities to support important and meaningful causes around the world. Sincerely, a whole bunch of people. I don't want to guess.
The rebellion.
And afterwards, there was people that signed it after it was published. Now, you talk about that, Jerry, right? But something like this, what's it usually lead to? Unionization.
Yeah.
Usually. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think the incident in hand is going to really strike the nerve to start a union, but this is definitely going to start talks with something like this. Something like this always starts talks like, hey, maybe we should think about it, and that's something the company does not want, so they're gonna have to fix this.
I would think those talks would start if upper management did not be open to the discussion that they asked for. If they started just shutting them down, then it's going to be just like, okay, we're going to start unionizing, so that way you guys are forced to talk to us, type of deal. I thought that letter was very professional, very understanding, as it wasn't necessarily like, oh my God, you guys are awful or anything like this. It's just like,
it wasn't so much like this is wrong. Like it wasn't so much they were talking at them. It was very,
It
exactly.
was very
same with
professional.
it was
to the point.
And reiterating that it's like it's common journalism to go in and make an edit. Like it can happen. Like it has to go through many people in order to make it to the publish anyways. So you have your editors, you have your editors in chiefs and everything. Like there was a line of hierarchy to get it up there first. So it was reviewed. It's not like it was just posted out of nowhere. Instead of whereas upper management just decided to just take it down instead of opting. It's like, hey, maybe this might sound a certain way. Maybe we can rephrase it so it's a little bit more open. I think people would be really open to that.
I agree. I concur.
You got your thesaurus out there?
I concur.
How many are there? How many other words? Look it up.
How many? Oh, let me get my notes. Hold on.
I think here's my thing is just that it is, when they look at it, you look at the fact that IGN Israel is over there, they have the site and everything like that. And they basically took down an article that was frankly, supporting the ones that are displaced children and what they were specifically targeting. These people, right, in Palestine, they've got they've been launching rockets in Israel. That's fine. But Hamas does not have the air power to go against Israel. They do not have Israel's been punishing Palestine. And, granted, this is something that's been going on for ages. I mean, it's been longer than my lifetime. Israel came into being in 1960. After people couldn't get along, they started carving pieces out of the world and stuff and whatnot. But this has been going on my entire life. I mean, there's been multiple conflicts. This is nothing new. It's probably going to go on for longer than our lives and stuff. But there was nothing wrong with saying, hey, we need to support the Palestinian children and stuff like that. I saw a post about a YouTube video by a Palestinian who made the video with his daughter to try and calm her down because she was so scared.
Mm.
The next day, he was killed in an airstrike.
Oh, wow.
That's how kind of like this is. You've got kids that are losing parents. And granted, it, like I said, it is both sides. There's, I mean, rockets are being launched in Israel, and then, you know, we just need to just stop. And I think, honestly, from a world perspective, can we all just get along? You know, can we just put aside these hates and start looking towards a world that Gene Roddenberry envisioned, where everybody's working together for a common good? You know, that was the whole preface of Star Trek, you know? And
he really like more and more of his ideas are like TikTokers, YouTubers. It's crazy that you say that, because so many people are, you know, using the last administration and kind of what's going on now. Like, we really kind of need to rethink how we're approaching, you know,
everything.
Society now. Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people use Star Trek as like the foreground of, you know, he's not wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
Like,
I mean,
the show kind of went like the writing of the show kind of works. And like, it's so weird.
The show started with.
Yeah.
When they finally did First Contact, and you actually got to see Zefram Cochrane, which, okay, we're going to go nerd speak now for Star Trek. You know, Zefram Cochrane is the whole responsibility for the warp engine. You know, and, you know, it was built out of a nuclear missile. The hull of a nuclear missile is what was used as a symbol of hope. And I would love for us to get to there as a world. You know, it's like, I mean, honestly, if we look back at so many of those different things, like, heck, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right? The whole theme was just be excellent to each other, just chill and just be in the moment and whatnot, and be kind to everybody. And I think that's what we need more of. And, you know, as long as people are taking sides, this is never going to be fixed. But that being said, in any humanitarian crisis, people need help, plain and simple. Let's help them
on either side.
Either side, right?
On either side.
And heck, IGN, you know what, the management could have come to them and said, hey, you know what? I love that you guys are supporting the Palestinians and what this is doing it. Can we find a similar charity that is helping those that are impacted in the sites in Israel? Okay. And that could have been fair. They could have said, hey, yeah, sweet. Let's go ahead and edit that. We'll be like, hey, you know, we're going to put these couple of charities in that if you want to help the people over in Israel as well. And then it wouldn't have been a, you know, management decision to go, well, no, we're just going to yank everything down in the middle of the night on a weekend.
Right.
So I hope for all of the IGN's family's sake that they are, you know, they do get what they're looking for. Just a meeting to go, okay, what the hell? Explain it to us. Tell us what was wrong. You know, I hope they get that, because, you know, the folks at IGN that have come before and currently there, because like Greg Miller was there at IGN. That's where he was before he started Kind of Funny. And even they're raising money for the Palestinians as well. But, you know, they deserve the right to know. And they also need the right to have corporate interests completely left out of the editorial process. Because then you start getting, you know, once you start getting corporate interests involved.
With a company like that, and especially as big and as wide of a net that they have, you know, in the world, you know, there has to be some oversight. But
that's what the editors were there for.
This was true, very true. This was just poorly handled. It's one of those things that, okay, we handled this wrong. Yeah, we got to fix it.
I'm not necessarily sure if you are meaning it the same way, because I feel like oversight kind of feels like it's some like Big Brother type of deal.
Yeah,
looking over. I would think
it's more of a
still
team
in regards
effort
to for everybody, because
still
like
in regards to corporate or the higher ups, it's still oversight to.
But I would think
what
that
needs to be published.
A good corporate intervention or whatever is that there is a set understanding on that side, but being unspoken or written or whatever, without needing to intervene or anything like that. Because I mean, there's got to be policies, there's got to be ethics within it and everything. And it's going to be
I
written and
think this
understood.
I think this is just handled more like out of a crisis kind of manner. Like,
Well,
no, just take it down now. But
the corporate though,
maybe it wasn't well thought out.
A corporate owner. Okay. So honestly, okay, let's look at it from our situation, Jerry. Okay. We are under a record label. Okay.
Right.
How would you feel if the record label, without coming to us and talking to us about the situation, just went in and removed our episodes? Completely deleted.
Oh yeah. I mean, that would obviously bother me.
They should be
unless
the
it
ones
was written in the
coming to us
contract.
first. Yes. And that's the thing, is that's what they're kind of getting at, is that you have these corporate people that have interests that are on the money side, on a specific side of a conflict or whatever, coming in unilaterally without saying anything and removing editorial pieces.
And that's how you get biased news.
That's how you get biased news. Exactly. That's kind of like, I hate to say it, that's like,
Fox.
I was going to go there, but
let's not open that right now.
No.
But no, that's how, that's how
go.
you get, because you have people that are giving directives. That's why certain news organizations, not naming the one that you just named, they will report on certain things.
I was talking about the video game Star Fox.
Oh, okay.
Smooth save.
Thank you.
Smooth save.
Thank you.
Were we talking about the baseball on Fox, MLB on Fox?
There you
Fox,
there you
go. No, and here's Jason hopping in chat. He's saying he misses us. Get your ass on here.
Yeah,
miss you too,
hop
bro.
on chat. You can hop on Zoom, dude.
Yeah, miss you too, bro.
You don't even have to be seen. You can be heard.
Right.
Miss you, man.
But that being said, is once you start having corporate interests play a piece in the editorial process, where they can unilaterally, without any reasoning, notifications whatsoever, go remove stuff, that's a problem. And that's where you start seeing journalistic lockdown.
Yeah.
And
this problem's been going on forever too, especially like studios getting involved with movies. Has there ever really been a good idea that came from the studio when they get involved? For the most part, no.
Probably not.
I mean,
I would say no.
I guess you're talking about Fantastic Four.
That is, all three.
One example.
I would say all three examples. Yes.
So, anyways, so hopefully IGN gets it all figured out, and they kind of get back to normal, because I think they do. There's really good people over there, and I know their hearts were in the right place.
They'll recoup, and they just need to.
I just think
just
people
sit
need to
down
remember.
and talk.
People just need to remember that conflict starts with somebody thinking they're right, regardless. Just assuming that they're right and everybody's going to agree with it. That's how conflict starts.
Your angels will still lose to my mill deck. Anyways.
Oh yeah.
See, now you're starting conflict. And my angels are going to take you down, sir.
Anyways. So
Civil War.
Move on to
Civil War.
Civil War, right? I'll bring in the elves behind it. Anyway, so Deep Silver is going to be reopening the Free Radical studio, which is responsible for Time Splitters. So we are going to be getting a full-fledged sequel to Time Splitters, or a potential reboot of the entire franchise coming back.
Man, talk about old.
I played the ever-living crap out of Time Splitters 2 on the GameCube.
GameCube, yeah. I was about to ask, like, when did that? I almost was going to say 64.
I'm too young for this moment. It was
I was like,
short-lived.
oh my god, I feel so young. But no, I was around when that came out. But I was almost going to say like 64, but yeah, GameCube it came out, right?
Yep. Now to give people some, names that they've kind of made, the games of Deep Silver is responsible for Metro, Saints Row, and
Dig
Dead
those
Island.
Saints Row.
Dig
Sorry, what was
those
that
games,
one?
baby. Saints
Dead
Row.
Island. The game that was supposed to have a sequel that we saw a trailer for at E3 2014.
Which one was that?
Did we?
Dead Island. So remember they had the jogger. It had
that's
trailer.
That's right. And
it got postponed
Jack
and
Black
postponed
was actually
Forever.
contracted to be one of the voices in there because he was in the trailer, but it never came. but the sequel actually did come out. It's time. Yeah, technically, it's in the same like world. The game is called like Time of Blood or something like that. The trailer just came out for it. It's supposed to be kind of
still hasn't come out then.
Sorry, that game is from the guys that did
for Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead.
That's what it
not
is.
Dead Island.
Sorry, not Dead Island. That's right. Left 4 Dead.
And honestly, I see I know the game you're talking about. I can't remember the title off the top of my head, but it looks like Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, it's supposed to be it like kind of a sequel,
a spiritual successor to it.
Yeah.
Kind of like
but yeah, oh man, I
Setsuna
loved that trailer from Dead Island. It was good.
Oh yeah,
it was funny, but it didn't show anything relating to the game.
It was pure like a cinematic trailer where I was like, okay, cool.
It looked like they were going to make a TV show out of it.
I mean, that being said, I did get tired of seeing the trailer because it was on all the time over in the PlayStation booth.
It was,
and like when you're waiting for Drive Club and Bloodborne, it was all like right there. Right? Because you had Bloodborne, you had Drive Club.
You get the song stuck in your head.
Little Big Planet.
That was a good song too.
I bought the song on iTunes because it was just stuck in my head. But you know, and it's good to see it
even for a cinematic too. I feel like it still kind of holds up.
Oh yeah,
for a cinematic, it was really smooth. It looked good.
All right. So let's move on to some other controversy that's started in the world of Nintendo.
Oh geez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of rumor. Well, and a lot of rumors coming out.
Well, yeah. Rumors and leaks I'm kind of trying to stick away from right now. But anyway, so Nintendo announced this Amiibo this week. It is the Zelda and Loftwing Amiibo for Skyward Sword. Comes out July 16th. It's gonna be $25.
It is pretty.
Okay. It is pretty. However, they are packing in a very, very unique feature to this game that a lot of fans are thinking this is locking things down behind a paywall now. Because this has the unique ability to, when you scan it, you are going to be able to go up into the world wherever from wherever you are, whether you're in the open world, you're in a dungeon or anything like that, which the original game, to my understanding, is you had to be at a perch to go up into the world. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you can go up in the sky, go do what you want to do. And then whenever you're ready, you can just scan the Amiibo. It'll take you right back to where you were originally. So a lot of fans are up in arms on this because it's essentially locking a feature down behind essentially a paywall.
True.
It's a pay to win. Now, granted, there's a lot of people that agree with that assessment, but they're still buying it anyways, which is fine because they're huge Zelda fans. Might I get it? I might, just because I own quite a bit of the Zelda Amiibos and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm like starting to get to that point where I don't really need to buy Amiibos anymore. And,
I've only ever bought Zeldas or...
Yeah. Well, I did buy...
If an Amiibo came with like a collector's like Mega Man, that was a cool one to get. But
I mean, I've got Dark Samus and Samus and Ridley and a bunch of the Zelda ones, including the Champions and Fireball Mario, which Fireball Mario is my centerpiece because that is a rare Amiibo.
Keep those, because even the first wave of those, the Marios, are still very expensive because they're hard to find now.
Dude, most Amiibos on eBay start at about $40 for the important ones. So, so we'll see what happens with regards to that. I agree with a lot of the fandom though that it's kind of crappy to put a quality of life item locked behind an Amiibo, because as of to this point with the Zelda series, all the Amiibos have done is give weapons.
Yeah, weapons, items are like that. That's what I loved about Breath of the Wild. Those were good. Really helped you with the open world.
They made really good decorations on the wall of your house.
Right.
That too, because I have all of those.
Yeah. So
I love them.
To me, it's like, guys, come on, Nintendo, you can do better. But it is what it is. It's Nintendo being Nintendo. And speaking of games coming to Switch, they have released information that there's going to be a couple of new games coming to Switch Online, which we've been clamoring for some good games, some recognizable games from the Super Nintendo era.
Okay.
But we're getting Caveman Ninja, which was known as Joe and Mac here in the States.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, it's two cavemen that you're just kind of side-scrolling, beat them up, you know? And then you've got Magical Drop 2, which is a puzzle game from the Super Famicom, so over in Japan.
Okay.
Super Baseball Simulator 1.0, and Spanky's Quest, which I'd never ever heard of. Come out May 26th. And then you're getting...
That's a real game.
It is a real game.
For everyone listening and watching, that is a real game.
It is a real game.
And then real title. It starred Jerry in his adolescence.
I'm in a diaper.
God.
I thought that was Bonk's Adventure.
No, you went too far.
There you go. You involved me. I go too far.
All right.
Too far.
Me in a diaper.
So from now on, I dub the Spanky. From here on out, there is no the Beanied one has been retired. It is now Spanky. And then
that's how I'm going to respond to that.
Right?
Hi.
And then Ninja Jaja Maru-kun is coming, which was a game originally launched in Japan. So
then
why? Okay, I love Nintendo, really too, but why the heck are we bringing out games that nobody's really clamoring for?
Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, they started off strong, giving us the Zeldas and the Mario Kart and for the Super Nintendo, but
give me SimCity, give me Super Adventure Island, give me, there's other things out there.
Yeah.
That people actually know.
Is it? I mean, it can't be a licensing thing. They own the properties. So they have to be able to.
No, a lot of these would have been licensed for Nintendo.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So they would have been able to put them online for the Super Nintendo.
Any of their first party stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a ton.
I don't understand and it really, this is kind of weird because it's taken them a long time even to add games for Super Nintendo.
We go every 2 months we get another crop, maybe 3 months, once a quarter maybe.
They really haven't been that great.
How about this?
Every Nintendo fan has been begging for them to put GameCube or even
GBA.
Yeah,
they've been talking to Microsoft too much because they took a page out of Gold.
Well, what's funny is
XPass, so that's why they're
you might have a point
there.
Yeah,
so with Game Pass and XCloud, right? It did come out. Oh shit!
Yeah,
I just lost my train of
Get him,
thought.
Newman. Get him, Newman.
I already read it. That already made me
God.
laugh from Newman. I already love that. Was actually really funny.
I bet you anything. I could probably find it on Etsy. A beanie that is a diaper or underwear looking, just wearing it on your head.
Oh my God.
200th episode?
I'm gonna find
300th episode, maybe?
I'm gonna find it just for Newman.
150. Forget 200, 150.
That'd be funny.
That's still a little ways away. It's about half a year away. Anyways, but speaking of that though, as you talk about it, right? It did come out as one of the leaks now also from the Apple versus Epic lawsuit that Nintendo has been in conversations about it potentially going to Switch. So that'll be interesting if it actually does come to fruition or not. But we know Nintendo goes along to their own drum, their own beat, and they'll do whatever is best for them.
And they take their time on their stuff when they present it. So I mean, that's why I'm really, really interested in what they're doing for Nintendo, for E3, because apparently we're going to talk about
that here in a second. We're going to talk about some E3 and all that
E3-ness.
Some E3-ness.
E3.
But before we do get into that and what's going to be happening here in a couple weeks, we do. So Last of Us Part 2 this week did get a PS5 Performance Boost, so where it is now 60 frames per second. That seems to be the thing amongst all the popular games right now, which Horizon has yet to get that treatment. But honestly, that game is so gorgeous and moves so well.
I think it might be hard to do Horizon at 60 frames.
I can honestly, I feel like
I would think you could do. I think you could probably do like a full remaster that's PS5 level and get to your 60 frame, but I don't think you can just do a performance boost.
I feel like you've
frames on
mentioned this, or
Horizon.
you've predicted this, that when the second game comes out, they're going to roll out a patch for. I think that's going to happen.
I think
Oh, yeah,
that more so
probably.
will happen because honestly, they're trying to get that game ready to go.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it will make it for the back half of the year. If they don't, I don't care. Take as long as you need, Gorilla,
Please take your time.
because I want that game ready to go and not be broken.
Great.
And speaking of games coming out, Ratchet and Clank did go gold over the last week.
Yes.
So Ratchet is nearing its launch, and we're getting a real true exclusive outside of Returnal that just came out for everybody. So all right, so let's talk Summer Game Fest. Jeff Keighley's little project he started after E3 kind of did its thing last year and all that fun stuff. So it is going to be running June 10th is when it's going to kick off. Now we know Summer Game Fest, like it did last year, kind of ran across the summer with different events here and there. Funny little tidbit talking about E3, and I did kind of break out the E3 bottle for tonight. That we got, kind of
RIP. I
more
missed
than
that.
water in here. But E3 starts June 12th. So the timing's a little sus, but here's who's going to be joining from a publisher and developer standpoint and all that. Okay. Now, most of these.
This is for Summerfest?
This is for Summer Game Fest.
Okay.
Most of these on this list are not taking part in E3.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So some of these, I will mention the ones that are going to be doing it, but you've got Frontier, Gearbox Publishing, which Gearbox is taking place in E3. So they're going to have E3 stuff going too. Hi-Res Studios, Innersloth, Coke Media, Mediatonic, MyHoYo, PlayStation.
Oh.
One of the big three. Interesting.
Is opting out of E3 and doing Summer Game Fest instead?
PlayStation is going to have some for Summer Game Fest, which I know they're going to have a state of play around the time of E3 and whatnot. So this makes perfect sense. But we know that PlayStation really, honestly, they haven't done much. I mean, 2 years ago it was nothing.
No.
It was a nice place to go relax after being on your feet because that carpet that they had
was super plush,
super comfortable. That was super comfortable.
So good.
It was great to get off your feet. Just
so many people taking naps on that thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there was.
So many people.
And they had Spider-Man there, and then off in the corner they had Call of Duty. But it wasn't their boosts of yesteryear that we came to expect. Heck, I can remember the first year going to E3 in 2014. That booth was massive, and it was just
like you spent time out in their booth.
Yeah,
they had a bunch of demos. They had a lot of stuff coming out. They had a lot of incentives to play demos and get cool. I got my first. You remember we got our first.
I got
Last of Us shirt.
But stipulation is that was prior to going public.
Very true.
That's true.
Very true.
That was true. And it wasn't until it went public, started introducing the gamer tickets and stuff like that PlayStation really started pulling away a little bit.
I think everybody started pulling away as soon as that happened.
Yeah, and I think from an industry perspective, this is no knock against the gamer tickets because you have to do something to offset the revenue loss when you have companies like EA leaving, right, and not wanting to be a part of it.
Yeah, EA.
For a couple of years, EA was right up front. When you walked in the doors, there's EA.
It was the very center of the biggest floor.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
But as they decided to leave and go do their own thing, other companies started looking at it and thinking similar tactics. You have to do something to offset revenue. I get it. You don't want to raise prices for your vendors because then they just don't come because they can't afford to do it. So you have to offset revenue somehow. So I get it, but it did diminish the show and the show floor. And because I think a lot of it is from an industry perspective, right? Even those of us that went on industry passes, you know, and
That one's for you, Jerry, not us. We were in the industry when we were there.
yeah, we were
Yeah.
industry.
But that stupid ticket.
But here's, oh god, I can't believe
That
you
was later
dropped
though.
amount
That
of
was
money.
later. I couldn't believe you dropped it too. I
20
was
I
very
wasn't
impressed.
dropped.
I was
very
not
impressed
gonna
with
go.
you. I was very
Yeah.
impressed with
Yeah.
you. Like,
That's some dedication.
'cause I mean, Matt and
Um,
I were definitely ready to just nix the year and just hang out with you, but you just
Yeah.
dropped it like that.
No, man, I
dude.
wasn't gonna. No, that's tradition. I wasn't gonna let it go. We gotta go.
but the public didn't understand like kind of like the unspoken rules on how things move, right?
Mm.
You know, you had most of them, you know, running for boosts, or B, they were just standing out in the middle of the biggest crosswalks and stuff, like, you know, crossing areas of the show floor, which led to clogs, you know, of things.
It was like it
Um,
was their first convention
know,
ever.
Yeah. You know, and then you also had the people that, you know, were cutting in lines and stuff like at Cyberpunk and whatnot. So it was like,
But at
you
the
know,
same time, I'm not entirely sure ESA anticipated well with the turnout in order to handle it, because like a prime example with Jerry and I going to San Diego Comic-Con, like they had people all over the place handling people to make sure that people were out of the way, had the lines right, cutting off lines early, whatever, just to keep people moving. And that was fantastic, even though it's so massive and so crowded. And
but it still felt controlled
as hell, but it still felt good
and fair. Yeah.
So real quick though, I want to kind of bring us back though really quick, because you know, we still have the other half of the list to even go over. So you've got Psyonix, Raw Fury, Riot Games, Saber Interactive, Sega, which is doing E3 and Summer Gamefest. You have Steam. Square Enix is doing both.
Okay.
You got Thunderful, Tribeca Festival, Tencent Games, Warner Brothers Games, which is doing both. Which actually Warner Brothers Games is about to get split in half. Because AT&T is spinning off part of their media division, and it's going to be moved over and combined with Discovery Channel. So,
another booth that I really enjoyed in E3 was the WB booth.
Yep, they always have the good booths. Other than 2019, it was just really Lego.
Yeah, that's true.
So
when they had like Mortal Kombat coming out,
the theaters,
Arkham,
I love the theaters.
Batman.
You know, we had Mortal Kombat, Shadow of Mordor, Lego, and Batman.
Batman
all in one.
Telltale.
Yeah. So, and now Ubisoft is going to be taking part over there as well.
Are they both?
Yeah. That's my understanding, is at least Ubisoft's going to have their presentation for that Saturday. You have Wizards of the Coast, which is interesting because Wizards has always been part of E3.
True. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, they have. They've always
had the
small
back.
booth.
They had the back booth in the back meeting rooms that you could swing by and potentially get the specialty cards and stuff like that. And then you have Xbox, which is doing both.
Yeah, of course.
Now, looking at it, is two notable names are missing from this list, which are Nintendo and Capcom. They're going to be over on the E3 side. Now, Jeff Keighley has said there could be some surprises of what they have coming from other developers and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see what else shows up at Summer Game Fest. Jeff Keighley has a way of pulling some random crap, you know, that all of a sudden surprises everybody, going, "Oh, this game's real. This game's
I wouldn't be surprised if we got
go.
like a couple announcements, but
I think we will.
Yeah.
So the question I want to pose to you guys, and unfortunately Jason is not here to actually answer this on stream, is that with this, looking at this lineup, we look at what Summer Game Fest accomplished last year and is looking to potentially accomplish this year. Is Game Fest bigger than E3 now? And is there a place for E3 to fully come back next year? And I mean fully come back in terms of we are standing on the show floor at either the LA Convention Center or the Anaheim Convention Center, or wherever they actually do it.
Next year, I think E3 can come back. How they come back is the question. How they're going to execute it is going to be the question.
But is it a matter of them just showing up, or are they going to be worthy enough to want to go?
That's the other side of the question, because I think it also is going to depend on Summerfest, because I think a lot of pressure is going to be on Summerfest, kind of making a big impact to kind of make a competition for E3. And then I think all of that is going to come into play because Jeff Keighley's, he's got a lot of pull, and he's obviously bringing a lot of developers and big studios coming in. So that could potentially,
here's the flip side,
hurt E3 in a way.
It could, or does it make E3 go back to being more of a trade show for just media?
That's what
industry.
That's what I was thinking.
They're going to have to rethink their approach.
But is that a good thing for them and ESA, or should they start analyzing other conventions and taking into what works for them in order to make it a workable public convention?
I think they should have been doing that this entire past year with the time that they've had, not being open.
I think it needs to settle somewhere in between what it was and what PAX is.
I agree with you, Theo. I think
that sweet spot.
They need to restructure and really figure out how they're going to present it. Because the year we went, when they went public, that's
literally all they did was just open the doors.
Was missing. Yeah, it always felt like something was missing that year. Mm-hmm. So I agree. They need to rethink their approach.
You got to figure 2019, right? Which unfortunately, I didn't have my industry pass anymore, so it was under Game Pass and stuff. Which I'm grateful they had Game Pass. Trust me.
Yeah. But especially at that price.
We were talking though, like Thursday was dead.
Like so dead.
The media
Everybody
bounced,
was gone,
and it was just public. And
the other, the other problem that we were running into, like the first couple days, were they kept trying to sell tickets. So like that's why we were running into those problems with people cutting in lines, and like the lines being so long and bombarded with so many people, is because they didn't set a cap. And those first couple days they kept selling tickets,
right? And
then finally they cut it off after a while. But and then what happened the very last day, where we still want to utilize, it was dead.
I think that ESA and E3, that they need to choose one side, whether it be just all public and learn from the others in order to be a good public convention, or go on the other side, go to the trade back and think about all the companies, because all the companies there, when it was a trade show, had a blast. Everybody was involved. Even the smallest people from the companies were able to attend and be a part of it. Not even lower than the devs or anything like that. They were, because there was a guy that I met that was just normal IT for one of the games and just support, and was able to.
I think the one that stands
and
out,
I also feel like it was more controlled too.
And it was such a different environment when it was trade show. And that's what made E3 special in comparison to other ones. So it's either go with the popular vote or whatever and just kind of meld in, or set yourself apart.
I think you can do both. So here's why I think
it's really hard to do both.
Well, we talked about this before though, and I think is what you do is you maybe extend E3 by a day or two, and you have
industry days.
2 days that is specifically for the media and industry, right?
Yeah.
All of us that are out there in the space that are the podcasters, the content creators, we have those couple of days ahead of time. Then you do the last 2 days are open to the public. You sell X amount of tickets, right? And then, industry, if you didn't get to go in for those 2 days, well, you're just going to have to deal with being in line with the public for some of these booths. Media will still be able to get their, straggler appointments with everybody to meet with them, talk about the games and whatnot like that. But I think if you do a couple of days ahead of time, that's just media only. I think that will take care of that piece. And then you have the couple of, to really get it in the public, right? Because honestly, one of the best things is word of mouth, right? And a lot of these publishers that are going to be there, aren't going to be doing the public demos that Game Fest is going to be doing. You know, Game Fest again is probably going to be doing something through Steam where here's all the different demo games, go play them, which I'm not on PC, so I don't get to partake in that. So if I had something like E3 to go to, then I could go get hands-on with the game, play it, and then my word of mouth helps advertise the game even more so.
Yeah. Follow-up question. So if that model were to be used, do you end up thinking that it would be the host running E3's responsibility to be able to handle the influx on the public days, or on the exhibitors to be able to handle that change?
ESA should get those, because a lot of those people are volunteers too. That's what they should work
for
on.
The exhibitors, it's volunteers.
Yeah,
because a lot of the ESA workers work behind the scenes and they're just running the show. They're not even on the floor.
I say both. So here's what I say is, I
think that'll come down to either or.
I think
ESA
it should go to
needs
to put a cap on the amount of public tickets they do.
Great.
And not try and sell more later on, because they did have a cap and then all of a sudden they released more right there at E3.
Which is
right.
Easily seen at other conventions like PAX and Comic-Con and all that.
So you cap it at, say, maybe 30, 40,000, 50,000, whatever you want to do, right? Because if you're going to do a media...
So crazy.
But here's the thing, though, is if you do media and industry having their own 2 days, right, ahead of all of that, then 50,000 is not bad.
No, I know. It's just I'm just baffled with the whole, like, even with like sports centers or whatever, it's like 100,000, and it's like, oh my god, that number sounds amazing. But then you just see the building, and it's like, maybe not. But it's
one of the years we were there was 80,000 people went through those doors.
Oh my god!
You know, at some point, you know, right, coming and going. That may not have been.
Where's my hand sanitizer?
Right? Right? Where's our masks? But I think you do both. I think ESA needs to cap the amount of tickets, and it needs to be a hard cap. Don't do this whole, well, we're going to release more tickets later on.
Right.
But then also the studio, like the developers and stuff like that are there for the demos, right? You cap your line, or you do what Nintendo does, which was fantastic with the Warp Pipe passes.
Yeah.
Where go sign up online, you get your slots, and then, you know, if there's any other slots left, you know, left over, whatever, you can go try and get in line or whatever and be done with it. But at least if you sign up for those, that's great. And I think if you limit it to one, you know, like Square Enix started doing with Final Fantasy VII. Granted, I got in before they did it, before they started scanning patches, so I got 2 times through it. But I think if you do what they did, where you get one demo per person, across whatever X
and that was great,
right?
Yeah.
And then that's fine. Each person gets their own time through it, and that's fine. It gives more chances to everybody else to play the games. I think you do something like that, and you can.
I'm glad you put that stipulation for that, because limiting it per person. Because that's one of the things that I don't like about the cap, is that it's the same thing with trying to get tickets that are capped. Like, you have everybody online refreshing, trying to get it within, and everything's sold out within the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And
kind of like the Sony, the Sony
one, that 1 year beforehand.
Yeah, we had to get creative with that.
That you could.
Yeah, we did.
But that was the same thing. You had to be creative with the other people that you were with in order to increase your chances.
We did.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with Comic-Con, that we had to be like, Jerry didn't get in, I had to get in, and I had to get his ticket on it or whatever.
I mean, not gonna lie,
if you
right?
limit by person, then you have that opportunity. Like, maybe you won't get the slot that you desired, but you have a chance to still go, period.
Like we did with Warp Pipe passes. Right, for Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon, and
well, you and I got as many as we possibly could.
We grabbed our maximum. You know, we shared them amongst everybody who weren't able to get them. Like, you know, one of mine went to Jason, and then, you know, no, Theo, one of yours went to Jason. One of mine went to Austin, because
Austin, and I think another one of mine went to.
I think me.
From I don't know. I think we gave it to a random.
Yeah, we just did some. Well. I think we did a random too, but it was one of those ones like Austin Stark, friend of the podcast, who is head of Fixture Gaming. Which honestly, this is not a paid plug, but The
We will
fixture
always
S1
plug the fixture.
is
It
great.
is such a good,
Still,
such a good
still
idea.
one of the best Switch accessories.
Yep.
Yes.
We
Still.
all have one. I have one of the original OG ones before the redesign. And I have our official podcast one hanging around. It says
I only
Crashing
have the
Game Night on the back
redesign.
of it. You know, even the original was great. And honestly, for those that have the bigger hands like I do, you can't play the Switch for long periods of time with its
It's
design.
so
'cause
great.
I
it's
think,
not
I think
ergonomic.
even with smaller hands, you really can't because it's just that.
So
like,
It's
honestly, I
so
love playing-
linear. Yeah.
I love playing with the Pro Controller on the Switch, and Austin's design with the Fixture S1 is great. It's fantastic, and I wholly recommend it.
Yeah.
You know, you can get them. You can find them on Amazon now. He actually did get it listed on there.
but it's so awesome. You don't even have
Justine
to use the
just did
controller.
a,
It's just a stand as well, so it's
Yeah.
just versatile.
And
And-
if you don't want to go to
Justine
Amazon,
just did a review on it too.
Yep,
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yep. You know, Andrew Renee from What's Good Games has one. Kind of funny. The crew has a couple of those. One of the guys from Marvel happens to have one as well. But yeah, I mean, honestly, for anyone that wants to go take a look at what we're talking about, just go to fixturegaming.com. It's, you know, great little thing. He shows the product, what it can do and everything like that. But we love Austin. But yeah, he was there on site. We'd been talking to him before, and I, you know, started a conversation and whatnot, and did a review for it, which the review is still on crashinggamenight.com. But yeah, he showed up to the show. We made sure to hang out with him, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, come hang out with us. You know, he was there doing his thing because to him, it is an industry show. So he was trying to get people interested in buying his product 2 years ago,
Yeah.
which now it's huge. He's on, like I said, he's on Amazon selling them now. A lot of people are talking about it. But he didn't have a chance to get some of those things. So I said, hey, here, take my Luigi's Mansion.
Oh,
go
yeah.
go play the game, go enjoy it, go enjoy yourself. We made sure to take him over to, you know, the Kind of Funny meet and greet, which he knows the Kind of Funny guys from doing a meet and greet that was actually here in Tempe. That's how he ended up hooking up with them at one
Oh,
point.
cool.
So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was at Portillo's down there in Tempe.
Oh, sweet. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so not a while back. But yeah,
So,
so
you guys sound like such locals.
you know what though? What's sad is like I'm already acclimating to like the highways and everything, like the 202, the 24, the 60. You know, it's
God.
like, you know, like we got the boys set up with a pediatrician, you know, and my wife's like, oh, you know, here's where it's at. It's on Ellsworth, and I'm like, oh, I know where that's at. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know how it does, you know, the little curve? Yeah,
Yeah.
there it is. So I'm getting used to all that. Like, I know that I can go down 2 roads and get to where I need to. Like, I'm at the point now with some of the places I normally go, I don't need Siri anymore. Because I just know where to go. So it's easier getting acclimated here than it was in Virginia. That's for sure.
Man, but Virginia's roads were so strange. There's so many turns and interconnections with interstates and everything. Like,
It's just
oh my
so,
God.
yeah, it's different.
But
And everything
But
looks the
no,
same with all the
it's-
trees.
Yeah.
I don't miss the wall of trees when I'm driving on the highway, that's for sure. So, anyway, so Theo, what you been playing?
I haven't been playing too much. A little bit of MTG with Matt was a nice refresher. It's been a long time since Matt.
You got to
and I played some
introduce to the
MTG,
upgraded mill.
which I still stipulate that if, like we said, if my Angels had ramped up, I would have owned your ass. I was close. You had 2 life left at the end until I actually milled myself.
I got what I needed. That's all that matters. I knew what was coming in that deck. So
I started up on Season of the Splicer on Destiny 2. Trying to get ready for Volta Glass if I can.
Oh, that's
I don't
right.
think
You
I
got
will.
a,
They're
you got a
bringing
new
back-
DLC coming out. Yeah,
they're
yeah.
bringing back Vault.
Yeah, they're bringing back Vault from D1.
Sweet.
which
Are they
is-
bringing back the weapons too?
Most of them, not all,
Yeah.
but most of them, and there's still going to be raid weapons, which is nice. You won't have like some of the iconic ones like Fatebringer that we loved and the Scout Rifle.
Mine was the Scout and the Sniper.
Unless you already have them.
Nope, they nerfed them.
because that was D1. That was
Yeah,
D1. It's a separate game.
Dude, I lost those. I
Oh,
lost those at the
wow.
beginning of D2. It was like they couldn't even touch anything from D2
Yeah.
base weapons.
Other than that, just trying to train as much as I can. I did decide I'm going to continue doing some tournaments for this season. So I got 2 left for the season to see how I do.
Where we got?
Sweet.
End of July is Dublin, Ohio for Buckeye.
Mhm.
And then 2 weeks later is back to Richmond for nationals again. I need to
Hopefully, it's not a torrential downpour.
hopefully it wasn't. Didn't I go around the same time last year?
Yeah.
This rain wasn't too bad. I think we
Oh
only
no,
had
that was
rain
no. There
delays
was a
twice.
torrential. There was a torrential rain.
There was
up
one
at
where
our
you were
place.
worried it was going to get
Oh yeah, that's
canceled.
right.
There was one day you thought it was going to get canceled.
That's right, and that area didn't get hit as hard. But yeah,
No.
but I need to make up for how royally bad I did that tournament last time. So
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, good luck, dude.
And
Thanks, man.
you have no choice. You have to finish it because you finished this last one, so you don't have a choice now.
Yeah.
And did very well.
Yes.
I did do very well.
Mhm.
Thank you. I
What's-
appreciate that.
What's Newman starting crap now? PC Master, dude. Don't be bringing that PC Master Race crap in here. Doing the best Jason imitation while I've been playing FF14. Oh, shit.
Still, everything I'm playing is on PC.
Okay, hold on.
Even playing
hold on.
MTG on PC.
So I don't know if Jason's listening to us or not, but Newman put in chat doing his best Jason imitation. Well, I've been
jeez.
playing FF14 and some Division 2 now that Matt and Jerry aren't, and a few free games from Epic, of course.
Spot on,
How's
Newman.
it
Spot
going?
on. I love you.
How's it going?
You are the best,
That's
dude.
good.
Jerry?
A little bit of Mass Effect. I haven't been playing too much this week, with the new job. So I've been training, but now that it has been kind of hard, like getting back to like normalcy, like normal adult schedule. That's been kind of
I mean, like losing freedom.
kind of, but also having some structure, but also like I've lately had to be more responsible. Like, I should go to bed because I have to get up early in the morning. Like,
Oh, I have to wake up.
yeah,
That's what I've been.
I'm not all over the place now. So, it's been an adjustment. So I'm trying to do that and get used to having after 5 and over being the time where I can get things done. So it's been an adjustment. So I'm going to get back to it now that I'm getting a little acclimated and a little bit more responsible. So I'll get back to playing online and playing more Mass Effect.
Yes. How about you, Matt?
So I did start at Mass Effect. I did stream Monday and Tuesday this week on our Twitch channel. Just about 45 minutes to an hour each session. Just kind of get back into the swing of things of streaming for us. I'm still in the Citadel. I just picked up Rex and Garrus. So
I left off at just picking up Garrus.
Yeah. So we're getting ready to head to Cora's Den. But I finished Legend of the Skyfish, which is the one I talked about doing it. So I finished the PS4 run, that version. So all I have to do is finish the run on the Vita, and I'll have the second platinum for that. So I got the 1 platinum. It's cheap platinum, but not a bad game. Overall,
I like that game. I have it on Switch.
What, Legend of Skyfish?
Yeah.
It's all right. It's not bad. Controls are a little finicky on it, in terms of timing and whatnot. I
like that it's a little mindless.
It is a little mindless, but as you get into that final area, the arid islands, you have to pay attention because there's a lot of moving around. I did beat Sackboy.
Oh, nice.
Last night. So that's beaten. Now I'm just working on their equivalent of the Star Road that Super Mario World had on the Super Nintendo. Just a couple of the bonus stuff, but the game is beaten. I beat Vex and stuff last night. So, and then working on knitted trials for that. And then, that's really it. I haven't played a ton of other stuff, really. Other than, Animal Crossing, I missed a couple of days too. Like, I just didn't feel like playing too much,
I haven't opened it in months.
I did get a article written for the website. It was talking about the whole PlayStation Monopoly thing that we talked about on the podcast as well, but I actually wrote an article about it. So that's up on the website as well.
Yeah, boy.
So I'm gonna try and start writing a little bit more, and I need to finish Ask a Wadis though, as well as Ready Player 2. I need to get back into reading a little bit at night, I think, to kind of wind down.
I still need to buy that book.
Which one, Ready Player 2?
Yeah, I've been stuck reading my my other comics.
Stuck,
right? Okay.
X-Men is still ongoing. Thor is ongoing.
Yeah. Stop sounding like you're complaining that you have to read X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm not complaining at all. I love it, and this new run is amazing. But X-Men's coming back, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do for the MCU.
It'll be interesting, that's for sure. So, for everybody that stopped in tonight over the course of the stream, thank you guys for crashing game night with us. And for those that have followed us, we did break 100 followers on our Twitch channel, which is big. It's taken a little while to grow up because, honestly, we had that initial burst, but we're a podcast. We don't stream all the time.
We've only been on Twitch for how long?
Yeah,
5
man.
months. Less than 5. Actually, we started December 17th is when we went live. So
awesome.
Just 5 months. So I want to thank everybody who's been following us, supporting us along the way. And then for everyone that is tuning in on the audio feed this weekend when it drops, thank you guys for listening to us every week. Like I said last week, hopefully we'll bring in a little bit of joy, some laughter and stuff to your lives, kind of give you that little bit of a distraction while we give you kind of the news and our take on it.
But if you're listening,
saving up these points for COD, Jerry kills are the equivalent of embarrassments. Newman. All right.
Man, he's Newman on a roll today.
Newman knows that, hey, when it comes down to it, hey, you may not even have to pay me for it. Newman, you may just have to say, hey, I need you to do me a favor, and we'll go ahead and do it. But, but thank you guys. Thank you for your support.
But that's when you have to throw out Black Ops 3 and just frickin' mannequin arm them.
It was so annoying. So annoying.
It really is.
It's really
so annoying. Just out of nowhere.
Where did you come from?
Freaking ninja. Hold on. Like, dude, it's like there was even times that it's like, dude, I saw you on the kill feed just 2 seconds ago. Yeah. You were dead.
So let me ask you a question. Was it more annoying that I killed you with a mannequin arm, or the fact that after I did it, I clapped over your body?
The clap.
Yeah, it's more the kill bothers me. The fact that you got the kill on me just kind of
the clap.
So, but with that though, guys, thank you guys, and for those that are new to watching us or listening to us, please make sure to follow us on whatever platform you're listening to us on. Give us that support. Make sure to give us those ratings on Apple Podcasts and stuff like that, because it does help rate with the ratings and discoverabilities and stuff like that. So
please.
Also, head on over to crashinggamenight.com. Check out those articles. We'll start getting those back up and running on a more consistent basis like we were doing. Follow us on Twitch so you can catch our live streams when we do them. And as always, guys, just be excellent to each other and stay frosty. And as Jason says, be kind and rewind.
Yay. Nerds. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Go to our merch store. Go to our website.
Oh,
we got it all, quick. Baby.
So he's talking about the merch store. So real quick, guys, also want to touch base on this before we head out. On our Twitch homepage, so we have integrated our merch store into that. But we have asked this week, we've also started charity-wise for able gamers.
Yeah.
So
nice.
We do have a donation little tab right there on our our about section right there. So please, guys, it is a great cause. Something that Paul Lane, who is a previous guest of ours, is, he helps out with them a lot too, and is a huge supporter of them. But yes, their whole mission is to bring, the power of gaming to those that you know, with disabilities that aren't able to do that. So please, you know, if you've
To
got
the
a chance,
unabled, yes.
you know, go over to the homepage, you know, drop a donation, whatever you guys can. It'd be great. But yeah, we're starting to do a charity drive for them. Speaking of that, everything helps on that. So anyway, sorry about that, Jerry. Go ahead.
No problem, dude. No problem. That was an important, you know,
PSA.
Yeah, PSA. Thanks. Also, to the listeners and viewers and our fans worldwide. I'm getting a little overzealous. No, worldwide, guys, please. Once again, just show your support. Magic Man. Show your support, guys, for Black Lives Matter. Stop the Asian hate. Once again, whatever you can do to just show your support. You know, it's that hate is still out there. We're still having problems. Let's just continue trying to just be kind and show support and, you know, spread the love and be safe out there.
All right,
Theo.
Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Hopefully we'll catch you next time. Until then, TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Good night, everybody.